Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many connections not just to the prequels and the originals and other forms of canon that falls under Disney, but also Star Wars Rebels and a whole lot more for this story by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, we do know that Episode 9 is getting closer to its release. With each and every month that passes, we are now officially just under 6 months away from the release of this movie, where we will finally be able to see exactly how JJ is truly going to end the Star Wars franchise within the Skywalker saga itself. So what's really exciting about this film is, of course, how it's going to have a lot of connections to the past, as well as connections to other forms of the Disney Star Wars canon. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9 between Kylo, the Knights, and even Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing is that it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of October of 2018 included a scene that involved Adam Driver and 6 unnamed actors portraying the Knights of Ren for a scene in which they were in the unknown regions. The set design that Driver and the 6 actors were placed in was described to be the wreckage of a Star Destroyer ship that they eventually explore. It's described that one of the props on set was dubbed as Thrawn's holo projector, where one of the scenes is set to feature a hologram of Grand Admiral Thrawn, giving out a distress signal and offering information of the dangers of the beyond. Additionally, it's described that on set, Thrawn's famous outfit was used for the scene and hanging on the back of the pilot's seat of the crashed Star Destroyer on the rocky world, where Kylo Ren goes up to it and touches it for 2 seconds before moving on through the search of the wreckage with his Knights of Ren. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that the origins of the First Order are going to be explored in The Rise of Skywalker, as well as other elements of the Star Wars franchise that takes place in between the events of the originals and the sequels itself. So what I like so much about this is, of course, these are huge indicators of Thrawn's presence in Episode 9 without a doubt. Is he actually going to be alive in the movie? That's a big question open on the table for discussion for sure. Now, Thrawn's holo projector being one of the props that were used on set for this particular scene that was shot back in October of 2018 over at Cardington really does open up one's mind as to exactly why Thrawn had to record himself about giving out this distress signal and warning others about the dangers of the beyond. Now, that's where it begins to get very intriguing, is because even Thrawn himself, the man who really just looks at the beyond as something completely dangerous, is mind-boggling, right? So when we look at the other piece, where we have, of course, the famous outfit of Grand Admiral Thrawn that is said to be hanging off the back of the pilot's seat within the Star Destroyer cockpit area, or the actual control room, that's where I'm really starting to get very interested in this story, is why, of course, are Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren searching through the destroyed Star Destroyer on this unknown world, based within the unknown regions, that holds a connection and serves as a bridge, if you will, to the beyond itself, which is exactly how Palpatine, the spirit of Sidious, and even the Dark Acolyte will come into fruition. So with that being said, we can really see how JJ is really trying to tap into Star Wars Rebels material, and makes a lot of sense as to why he had a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni, the showrunner of Star Wars Rebels himself, during pre-production, principal photography, and even, of course, post-production as we speak right now, have, J.J. Abrams have had discussions with Dave Filoni. So you can really see how everything is starting to connect here, and exactly why they're trying to really connect the dots between the present and the past, and exactly what happened before that. Now, what I like about this is that we do know that Kylo and the Knights of Ren are going to go on various quests within the second act of the film in order to really find the beyond and exactly know what it is, what its potential really is, and what the origins of the dark side could really offer them. And that's exactly how the Knights of Ren are really going to fit into the story. They're going to have a big presence in this movie. Thankfully, they're not going to be a mere cameo. They're not going to have like 1 or 2 scenes. They're going to have a big presence in this movie, which is great, because the fact that they are connected to Kylo Ren is what intrigues me, I mean, if we look at Episode 7, they were very mysterious, right? A very mysterious set or group of characters characters that we did not get to see in The Last Jedi, and J.J. Abrams has an explanation for that. The reason as to why we did not see them in The Force Awakens is because what J.J. is setting up here for Episode 9 is because, well, the Knights have actually been to the Beyond before and were on a mission over there by Supreme Leader Snoke. They were ordered by Snoke to go there, alright, during the events of Episodes 7 and 8, and now 1 year later, they return back to Kylo Ren, only to witness that Snoke is dead and no longer the Supreme Leader of the First Order. So I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about the unknown regions, Thrawn's presence in the movie, as well as Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.